Alright, we're almost done with our file, but there's a couple reorganization things that we need to do and a couple additional things. First off, in the sidebar I've got my two arrows, and when I was thinking about it, you know what, those really belong with the paintings because they belong with the paintings, so that if I can see the paintings I will be able to see those arrows and really no other time. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in there, and then I can turn off the paintings. And the reason why is because we need to bring in the text for our biography. So let's go to where we have our assets, and we'll find the biography text. And here's what it looks like. We don't really need that first name, although it's not bad to have in there. But I'm going to copy the text out of there, go back to Photoshop, and create a text box. And this is with click and drag. Now I'm going to paste that text in there. That text is all kind of coming in blue right now, so I'm going to make sure that it's the lighter white text, or at least light gray text. Then I can kind of place that where it needs to go and zoom up a little bit. Nice thing about this text box is that we can reflow the text just by changing the size of the box. And that's going to be good enough. I'm not going to worry about the fact that we have some hyphens and stuff right now. But I do want to worry about the fact that I can't see all of the text. Well, what we're going to do is create a scroll bar to handle the fact that there is other text that we can't see. In order to create a scroll bar, we're just going to create some very simple graphics. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to create a scroll bar that's about the size, the height of the text box that I have right now. And I'm going to fill that with a different color. So I could go ahead and make it the white color, or maybe I can make it kind of one of the darker grays, something like that, because that way it kind of match some of these other graphics that we've been creating. Now I'm just going to duplicate that by doing Control J, because that's the easiest. And I'm going to get rid of most of it except for the little top part, and that's going to be the thumbnail for our scroll bar. So I'm going to change that into another color, changing it maybe to a light color here. That way it's obvious to see up there. Now of course we could make it look a little bit more like a scroll bar component. We could grab a button or something like that somewhere else. We could even grab like a scroll bar component like you see these. So we could take a screenshot and add one of those so it looked like it had a little arrow in it. But I just created a very simple one. Now you can edit the graphics as you see fit, because maybe we want to edit this graphic in here. If I can get that. If it'll let me get it. There we go. So now it's obvious. Look at that, a friend of mine just came online. Now it's obvious that that's a scroll bar with a thumb that's sitting on top of it. A little bit easier to see it. So let's go ahead and give those the names. This is going to be the scroll bar. And this is going to be the scroll bar thumb. And that should really even call this the scroll bar. There's a certain name for it, and I can't remember it right now. Anyway, there's our text with our scroll bar. The last thing that we'd probably want to do here is organize this stuff into a folder. So I can create a folder and drag the three in. Alternately, I could just group the three together with Control G, and that would create a group for me as well. So I got rid of group 1 because I already moved them into group 2. And I'll just change this into bio or biography. And that way I have my text, I have the scroll bar, and I have the scroll thumb. Now we are ready to save our work and go over to Catalyst and import this. So let's go ahead and close Photoshop or minimize it. Go over to Catalyst, and you can see that I've already done this. So let me close this project. And I'm going to open or create a new project from a design file, and in this case we're using an Adobe Photoshop file. And there's the file. And pretty much I just want to keep all the defaults set. If I go to the Advanced tab, there's some cool things that you can do about turning on and off layers and merging layers, and I'm really not going to deal with any of that. I'm just going to go ahead and open it using the simple OK. And bring it in all with the defaults, which usually is the best thing to do. Alright, now you'll see that I've brought in all of my different layers here. I've got my text and my scroll bar, and we've got all the layers here on the side that we can see with all of them turned on currently. Well, most of them turned on. I didn't have the paintings turned on. But what we're going to do in the next tutorial is start laying out our different states for our pages, and then in the last tutorial we'll do our interaction. So go ahead and save your work. Save your Catalyst project at this point. So this is going to be project 1. You can give it a different name if you want, but do that and go on to the next tutorial.